Hello. I hope you're having the best of days. I was out power washing, and while I was power washing, as probably happens for most people that are out there doing work, I was thinking a lot. I was thinking about a whole lot of things. I am going to do a nifty neato review of these Tombow pencils that the interwebs told me that I need to buy, because if you are a serious artist, you need these. We'll talk about these in a minute. Like I said, I was out power washing and I was thinking about art and things. First thing I was thinking about was the super ultra amazingly cool artist Norval Morrisseau. Norval Morrisseau is a Canadian First Nations artist who, if you have not checked out Norval Morrisseau, you need to. So after this video, and watch the video, you gotta go check him out, because quite honestly, it will probably blow your mind at just how amazing his art was. He was able to take some, I don't want to use the word basic, but some basic imagery is really what it is, and it's like an explosion. I've got paint all over my fingers. I was just painting. Is it like an explosion of thought and concept and color and shapes and all sorts of awesome stuff. It is like being in a dream, but you're awake. You got to check them out. So there you go. That's thing one. And when I sat down to paint after power washing, I was at first thinking I was going to paint something a la Norval Morrisseau, but it didn't happen. What I ended up with was something completely different. I want to show you. It's literally sitting right there drying, except I'm not going to, because it will be in a upcoming sketchbook tour. I'm doing some pretty cool things with this new sketchbook, which, by the way, for those of you that, start to shudder and shake over such things, it's the Hanemule. And I'm not going to say much more about the Hanemule. That's my sketchbook, by the way. It's not that I named it that. That's its name. Hanemule. Or something else that I'm badly mispronouncing. But I honestly am not too concerned. My shirt is very wrinkly. Look at that. Poor shirt. But what can you do? At least I'm wearing a shirt. Or maybe I'd get more views if I wasn't wearing a shirt. Anyways, that's something completely different. When I wasn't thinking about Norval Morrisseau and how you really need to check out Norval Morrisseau and maybe be inspired by his amazing art, I was thinking about a question that somebody recently asked me. And that was, why is there not more compassion in the world? We've been around for, well, tens of thousands of years. Why is there not more compassion in the world? And I will tell you, maybe it is not the answer, but it's what I was thinking as I was cleaning moss off of the deck. And that is that people tend to live in their own little bubbles, Maybe you live in something cool like my ultra space age watercolor thing. And imagine if that was your life and it's all contained within that. And you see your own life as happiness or chasing after happiness and trying to avoid suffering. And maybe you think you've got a lot of suffering in your life and you just end up stuck in that bubble, instead of realizing that the dang thing opens up and there's, plenty of space inside, more space outside, and not even that, but you may find that outside of this is a far bigger world. And you may be thinking to yourself right now, what on earth is this guy talking about? What you need to understand is there is a whole lot more suffering out there in the world. Right now, as you are watching this, if it's something you're watching just after it came out, there's a whole lot of suffering going on in the Ukraine, for instance. There's a whole lot of suffering going on all over this globe. And we forget that. We live in that little bubble of delusion of our lives, and we think that our suffering is it. When in reality, maybe what we should think is, yeah, my toe is not doing so hot right now, or my back is really bad, or, I went through whatever in the past. And instead of being in that constant loop, what we should realize is there's people out there, a lot of them, who are going through far worse. And now you might think to yourself, well, what does that have to do with art? And what does that have to do with life? Everything, man. Because once we start to see that, all of this suffering goes on out there, and a lot of it far worse than we can even imagine in our little bubbles, then you can't help but have compassion grow. You can't help but want to relieve some of that suffering. You can't help but want the world to be better. And then some amazing thing can happen, which is you realize that your suffering maybe isn't as bad as you thought it was. That you can do a lot to alleviate the suffering of others. That you can do little things to spread compassion in your little sphere of influence. And when you do that, it spreads. It's like being in a dark room and lighting a match. And then that light just spreads out and gets rid of a whole lot of that darkness. Now imagine if everybody lit a match in that darkness, the room would light up. And that's our world. So there you go. A little bit of something to ponder thanks to James power washing. Now, let's talk about these Tombow pencils. And I know some of you are like, I thought this is a review. You know what? You never know what you're going to get in this life. You never know what you're going to get in the video. And to be honest, I don't really care about doing reviews all the time, endlessly. There are so many of them on YouTube. I just like to talk about some stuff sometimes that are just as important, or maybe it's more important than, the Tombow Feather Touch. So if you don't know, this is my go-to. This is my Bic Velocity. It is, what does it say on it? I can't even read it. It's a HB 2.9. Good thing I have my glasses on, or I wouldn't see that. I might not even be able to see the pencil. I have been using this thing for a long time. I am all out of leads, or whatever you call it these days. And I am going to have to get some more. The only thing that I don't like about this is it's plastic. But, because if you don't, I do try to cut down on all the plastic that I use. And because let's face it, people, we're messing up the world. And I just was told today that a chunk of the Antarctic just fell off into the ocean, and the thing's the size of New York City, if you can imagine that. That's a great thing. But anyhow, before I go off on that for another soapbox journey, this pen, or pencil I should say, is everything that you could want and more. But I saw someone doing a video. It was a professional comic artist, actually. And he swears by these Tombow 2B Feather Touch high quality pencils. I really like the box. And yeah, where are they from? They are made in Vietnam. So there you go. It's a really cool box. I don't know what all that says. It might say some nasty things to me, but I don't care. So you might be wondering, what do you get when you open these things up? Well, inside of the Nifty Needle box, you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pencils. That's a lot of pencils. Oh, and if you didn't know, like I said, they are high quality. They've been making these things since 1913, which is a long time. These are 2B or the 8900 pencil. It is, I guess I can't use it for art because it's for general writing. I don't even understand what that means. What is something that's not general writing? Anyhow, these are pretty nice pencils. They don't come sharpened or anything like that. I don't know what happened to the one that I was going to show you. Maybe I took it. No, it's in there. I've been using it every so often, and it's a pencil. You know, it's very soft. So that's kind of how you get that. When you push it down, it can make dark lines and light lines. You can put it on its side and do kind of awesome shading. I can see why a professional artist would dig it, because you can do a whole lot with that. That's pretty neat, you know. I can make a smiley face, and I can do a whole lot of stuff. But you know what? It's a pencil. End of the day, it's a pencil. And the only thing that makes the Tombow better than my Bic Velocity is the fact that I can push down hard and I can put it on its side and I can do a whole lot of things. Where with my Bic Velocity, if I were to do that, it would snap. You can't do shading. This is more of a, general purpose pencil, but it's what I love. Do I love the Tombow? Yeah, I do. I have to say, I like that I get value for my money. When I bought them, I got a whole lot of pencils that, quite frankly, I don't even know when take a look at how many pencils that is. That's actually kind of ridiculous. This is going to last you at least 100 years. So, if you want value for your money, if you want to have cool green pencils made in Vietnam that are high quality feather touch pencils, I'm trying to put it in the box with tact and grace, but that's not working so well. I would buy these. These are pretty good. And you get a cool box with a dragonfly on it and the Tombow symbol. Oh, I see. I thought it was a face, but it's not. It's the dragonfly. Anyhow, these are great. I'd recommend them. I'll put a link to getting it. And the good thing about these is that they're not plastic. The bad thing about them is they're wood. Have you noticed that we are in this kind of conundrum that I buy something that is not plastic and it's covered in cardboard made out of wood, and I'm trying to be environmentally conscious. Instead, I buy something that's plastic, which is not a good thing at all, and it lasts a lot longer. But you know what? Eventually that's going to end up in a landfill somewhere, and I don't know. Maybe one of you can tell me what is the answer. Maybe there is an alternative that is environmentally friendly, that is not going to contribute to more chunks of ice falling off of the Arctic or the Antarctic, and that are the size of a major city on planet Earth. Because at the end of the day, we all need to do our part. Somebody said something to me just recently. It was in one of the comments. Why don't I just buy another watercolor palette instead of worrying about where I'm going to get another color to fill it? Because I'm trying not to buy things, man. I'm trying to cut down as much as possible while still creating awesome art like the art beside me that I'm not going to show you until the tour. It's things to think about. Nothing's perfect in this life. Nothing's perfect with us. We are imperfectly perfect. And that's just the way it goes. So, this was kind of an all over the place kind of video. It was not just a review video. It was not just about whatever it was that was going on in my mind as I was power washing. It was a whole lot more, just like our art. Let me know how you're doing. What's new with you? What's going on with you? What do you use? What pencil do you use? Nobody has told me what they like. Everybody's all about the paint. Nobody tells me about their pencil. So, you know what? I don't know about you, but I started with a pencil and I use the thing all the time. So why don't you let me know what works for you, and maybe I'll be turned on to what you do. Until next time, you take care of yourself, spread some compassion in this world, be awesome, get out there and power wash or whatever you do, and I'll talk to you next time.